Hello, my name is Patrick Halladay from the Vermont Agency of Education. I want to thank you for your interest in the Vermont State Plan for the Every Student Succeeds Act. This presentation will focus on the performance management section of the state plan. Please remember this, and all presentations are intended to provide a brief orientation to this section of the state plan. If you're interested in providing public comment, we strongly encourage you to read this section in its entirety in order to fully understand the decisions outlined in this presentation. In the performance management section, we'll be looking at four different parts. First, the review and approval of applications. Second, how those grant applications are monitored. The continuous improvement planning process that's been outlined through the state. And differentiated technical assistance for supervisory unions and districts. The Agency of Education is responsible for the review and approval of all grant applications. First, all supervisory unions and districts have to create a continuous improvement plan that's consistent with the needs of the results of a needs assessment. The Agency of Education assembles a team to review the applications, first to check that all components of the grant have been addressed and financial questions are answered, and then finally to make sure that the continuous improvement plan is connected to the supervisory union or district's identified needs and that it's consistent with the requirements of the Ed Quality Standards. The Agency of Education is also responsible for the monitoring of all grants. For competitive grants, there's a selected on-site reviews for a handful of supervisory unions and districts annually. All schools have a risk assessment process that they go through, and there's an annual focus across the state for all schools on specific issues. A formula grant follows the same process as a competitive grant. However, there's an additional step where there's an in-depth assessment of multiple indicators. Continuous improvement guides the work as all state and local schools. To that end, our education quality team has developed a framework for continuous improvement. That framework includes 5 steps. First, data collection. Second, data analysis and a needs assessment. Third, the creation of a continuous improvement plan and revision of that plan. Fourth, implementation and monitoring supports. And finally, knowledge sharing and peer networking. Also outlined in this section of the state plan is the differentiated technical assistance for supervisory unions and districts. For schools who are identified under the Every Student Succeeds Act for comprehensive services, there's a progressively increasing Agency of Education and peer involvement in the technical assistance provided. For targeted support, schools are required to develop annual continuous improvement plans as opposed to doing it every other year as most schools are required to do. And those continuous improvement plans have to have a focus on the reduction of equity gaps. Again, my name is Patrick Halladay. I encourage you to get in touch with either me or my colleague Chris Case via email or telephone. We also thank you for your interest in the Every Student Succeeds Act and Vermont State Plan to enact that, and look forward to reviewing your public comment.